Hello everybody, this is a pre-recorded video. I am working in the office today on tumblers and I just mocked up some coasters, so I'm going to be working on those while I'm chatting with you guys. I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on, why I have not been live or anything like that, and the reason why, hold on just grab my scissors, is because my friend was here from Connecticut, and so we were doing all that kind of stuff, and now I'm just kind of tired. I'm trying to get little things done. I'm not sleeping well. I think it's just excitement, stress, life, everything. I have been excited about Scarefest. I'm also like I always get nervous before an event because I don't know, there's just something about it gets me excited and nervous at the same time. And so I have a lot of I get a lot of anxiety, and I also overthink things that really are not gonna probably happen, but that's part of my OCD anxiety, so I just go with it, I guess. And I just have not been sleeping well. I also think it's the weather change, because it keeps going from warm to cold and rainy and not raining, and it's just like ugh. And so I have like a list in my head of everything I need to get done. I am ahead of the game, thankfully, because I started doing this prep way ahead of time. I have lots of 3D prints. I have lots of other merchandise. I'm working on tumblers. I have some that I found in my storage unit from a couple other events, so I'm just going to put those in there with I have 5 totes currently right now filled with merchandise and supplies for the booth. I have merch that's over there. I have merch that's over here. I have a bunch of stuff behind me. Lots of things going on. I just got to get it all packed up and working on doing stuff like that. Right now in the 3D printer, I have cookie cutters being printed because I thought that would be a cute little thing. I don't know about anybody else, but I always bake in the fall into winter because, one, it's so hot here in Kentucky. If I baked during the summer, I would have to have like AC blowing on my face. It would be so warm. And so I just don't bake very often in the spring and summer unless it's like for somebody's birthday, or if I just get like, oh, I just want some, homemade cookies or something like that. But I'm also type 2 diabetic, so I really have to watch that kind of stuff. I have so much going on, but we are down one printer because the other one has just kind of stopped working, and I've been on chat with Bamboo and we're trying to get it back online. The Snapmaker has been decommissioned out of the office. I am not sponsored by any of these companies, guys. The reason why is just because it wasn't reliable enough for me for 3D print. When it worked great. So we're going to turn it into a CNC machine, put it down in our garage. I have a WeCreate, which is pretty much a CNC machine, in my office, but the great thing about the Snapmaker is that it has a big case that goes around it that you could work on a little bit deeper, thicker projects, because the WeCreate will only work on so much. So that is the game plan there. Right now it's just in storage, and I'm down to one sublimation printer because my other one decided it was not going to read the ink anymore. So, and that's an actual like sawgrass sublimation printer. It decided that the ink that's in it is not the ink it wants. I don't know. It's been working fine this whole time, and now all of a sudden it's saying, no, I don't think so. And so I ordered some new ink, same kind I'm using, because the stuff for that printer is like 5 times more than what I pay normally, and I'm not doing that. So I'm going to see if I can get it back online. If I can't, we might be clearing off a space for that. The DTF printer no longer wants to work. So that's going to get decommissioned from DTF to a regular photo printer. I'm just going to clear out all the ink. And sometimes as a small business owner, we just have to pivot. That's just what has to happen. Thankfully, I've got other equipment that's working great. I'm working, like I said, on tumblers right now. And so these tumblers are going to be at my booth, 106 at Scarefest in Lexington, Kentucky. If you guys are going to be at Scarefest, pop on over to the booth, say hi. I would love to meet everybody who has followed Riverstone Cottage Gifts. That would be super awesome. I am going to set up 7 of these. Currently, I always set up 7. I run them through the heat press, and then I let them sit for a little bit, cool, and then I run another 7. That's how I've been doing it. It just feels like it's more productive that way. So I've been just trying to find little tips and tricks, obviously, to get my time as much things done in the time that I allot myself. But like I said, today I'm just kind of going with the flow. I'm not really busting my behind to try and get too much done, because I need to sometimes just recover. And if I don't and I keep pushing myself, my diabetes is going to let me know you're not doing that, because now you're sick. So we do not need to be sick. I do not need to be sick at all. Do not. So I am just going to work on as much stuff as I can. I'm noticing right now that it's cutting off almost all of Michael. And so I'm doing this part right here, guys. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to cut a little bit of Jason Voorhees off, and a little bit of Michael. So mainly in the middle it will be Leatherface and Freddy, which this year at Scarefest, Robert is going to be there. So that's really going to be cool. And he's getting his Hollywood Walk of, or star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on Halloween. So you guys can pop in and see him before that happens and congratulate him ahead of time. I know that tickets are limited to go and get signatures and stuff like that with him. So if you are going to Scarefest, guys, you are going to want to get those tickets as soon as you can. And I just want to make sure that this is rolled nice and tight, because if there's any bubbles in it, it will not work right. And I did learn a trick. So I have tumblers down. Oh my God, I keep hitting those tumblers. I have tumblers down underneath my printers that have been, tumblers, that's what I call them, because they are not going to be sold. Why? Because they have either like not sublimated correctly, and I just don't notice that this is really, really crooked, and it's also really loose, and I don't like that. So we're gonna redo that. Anyway, and so I learned a trick that if you take black sublimation ink, print it out on a sheet, heat press the design, the black transfer basically, onto the tumbler, and you black out the design. Now it takes a couple times sometimes with the design, depending on what the design is, and you do that, you can actually redo that tumbler. So if you are making tumblers, don't throw them out, because I was getting so discouraged. I was having like a couple of them, I realized it was my error, of course, and then there was a couple that I realized is because they had something on them. I take mine and I rub rubbing alcohol on them if I feel like they've got something on them. It tends to help the sublimation ink stick better. Just little tips and tricks that I have learned along the way. Also wanted to let you guys know, in October I will obviously be at Scarefest, but on the website there is going to be a month-long sale, because October is our anniversary of starting Riverstone Cottage Gifts. It was started in 2019, and that's when I formed the LLC. And so it is pivoted a little bit here and there. Obviously, I did other things under that umbrella, and I'm adding more things and taking some things away that just don't seem to work. So again, small business, sometimes we have to pivot. During, you know, COVID, certain things worked great. After COVID, not so much. You know, so I have learned that to not stress about that kind of thing, because I thought it was something I was doing. I thought it was something that I was either doing or not doing. And I thought to myself, like, what is happening? I was doing so good and this was selling so well. And then I realized, like, that stuff was like all home decor stuff, pretty much, that was selling really well. Well, everybody was home, right? Everyone was home. Everyone was redoing their houses because they were bored. I know I redid mine a couple times, like changed out the decor, did all that stuff. Now, do I regret ever doing that? No, I don't ever regret doing that, because that company helped me find my voice. And I'm eternally grateful, and some amazing people in my life now because of that company. So, I'm grateful for every opportunity I've had. I try and be as grateful as I can. Of course, there's times where you're like, I wish that didn't happen. You know, this situation didn't happen, blah, 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 blah. But everything is a learning curve and a lesson. So I'm just taking them as they come. The older I get, the more I realize that that's just how life works. You can't always, you know, control every single aspect. That's another thing that I've had to learn. Because, guys, I'm not going to lie, I am a little bit of a control freak. So, I think that also has to do with my OCD anxiety. I like to control things because a lot of things are out of control. So, I just go with it. I'm trying to go with it more and more. I think different things help me cope with that. Obviously, a lot of things have happened, you guys know, in my life in the past couple years have been crazy. And so that's been, you know, some self-reflection, learning, realizing that I have to keep moving forward. So there's all that. But I will start to go live more often once I get kind of a groove going. Like I said, I'm going to take a couple days, work on Scarefest things, and then I'm going to come live with you guys and actually show you guys me rolling tumblers and printing and what we're doing exactly. I know you guys have seen some of the videos. You've seen some of the things that we are doing here. We also have sponsored some amazing creatives. And so check out the link that I'm going to put in this video on these creatives, because their stuff is just amazing too. The things that they do, 2 of them are Twitch streamers, and so they are super awesome to watch and just get entertained by, and they're very inclusive, which is awesome. That's another reason why we sponsor them, because I want to include everyone. I want everyone to know that this is a safe space. And then we have a creative who makes beaded art and jewelry and things like that, and it is super awesome too. So go on that link and, you know, start kind of supporting them. Even just watching them or checking out their you know, their social medias and things like that makes a huge difference. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to continue rolling these tumblers and getting the heat press warm. And I did learn that the longer those tumblers are in that heat press, the better. And so that was something that I learned. And I might just turn the heat up just a little bit on it compared to what I was doing before. Only because I still have the AC on here at the office, because it's still warm out, and it's been really, really humid because of the rain. So we have not had to switch it over to heat yet. Fingers crossed that we don't have to do that right away. All right, guys, I will talk to you all soon. Thank you guys for your support, and thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.